Welcome to Silver Bar Stacker, folks. I hope everybody's doing well and enjoying their day. Now, today we've got a very informative and quick video, hopefully. And today's video is actually going to be revolving around the 1 ounce ROLO rounds, as people like to call them. Now, the ROLO rounds are a round that was produced by a company called Draper Mint. And Draper Mint actually produced a couple different variations of these 1 ounce ROLO rounds. And the reason they call them ROLO rounds is because they look exactly like that, just like a ROLO chocolate candy here. So those who are in America are familiar with the ROLO candy. That's where these things got their name. I think it's kind of like a slang term for the ROLO rounds here. But these are a very, very unique style round here that were only produced by Draper Mint. And they actually come in different weight classes here. And the 1 ounce is going to be your smallest weight class, but they actually came in sizes up to 5 ounces. So you got a 5 ounce chunker. Let me see if I can show you one of those. The 5 ounce chunkers also came in a couple different variations as well, some harder to find than others, and this is what those beasts look like. So today we're going to be focusing on the 1 ounce variations, and the reason I want to focus a quick video on these is to actually uncover something that I recently found out. I'm sure there are Draper Mint collectors out there who are very, very serious collectors who have already noticed this very many years ago, probably, as they were stacking these ROLOs deep. But the thing is that I don't think I've ever seen anybody actually mention this in public. So it's not common knowledge, and so for anybody who's kind of a new collector to Draper Mint or Swiss of America, this is not something that you would easily be able to find everywhere. So if you go on all Engelhard, for example, they will show you information about Draper Mint. That's actually one of the refiners that are featured on the website. And if you go to Draper Mint, you go to the definitive pages up on the top of the page, then you go to definitive pages and you go down to Draper Mint, you'll actually see at least a very large amount of the Draper Mint pieces that were produced by that company. And the thing is all Engelhard, and this is something I recently talked about on my channel, all Engelhard does not really specialize in other refiners, but they have provided as a service the ability to look up some of this information that has been contributed by the community. And so even when it comes to Engelhard and JM stuff, there's new information being uncovered every single day, and so you cannot possibly look at all Engelhard website as the Bible or the foolproof site to get all the definitive information. It gives you a lot of information that we do have that is definitive, but it also leaves out some of the information as well that maybe has not been come across. So such as the information that we're going to be talking about today. This is not established on allengelhard.com, but yet it is a actual true variant, that I'm going to be going over here. So when it comes down to all Engelhard, they only identify one type of ROLO and a second type of ROLO, but it has come to my understanding that there's at least 3 different variations of the one of those ROLOs, which leads me to believe that there's actually 4 different variants of the 1 ounce ROLO. Okay, so when you go to allengelhard.com, it's very clear as day. You'll see a couple variants here. You got this Golden West Teton variation, which I've got on my left, and then you've got the Swiss of America version, which is going to be on the right. And that one on the right is actually identified as a 100,000 mintage round. And the one on the left is identified as and look at that beautiful blue toning, that one on the left is identified as a 25,000 mintage round. Now, on face value, you would say, hey, this is the higher premium round, this is the one that will pop up less because it's 4 times rarer. And the thing is you got to take those mintage estimates with a grain of salt, because 1, there's no serial number on here. 2, we're not basing this off of company records, so we don't know exactly how many of these out there. But a rough estimate would be 100,000 of these and 25,000 of these. Okay, cool. The thing is I would say that, yeah, that might be true, because I would say typically the Golden West Teton rounds that are ROLO, they typically will sell slightly above what these 100,000 mintage ones would sell. So that is definitely true. You typically do see these selling at a higher premium. So that will lead me to believe, yeah, maybe there is fewer of these out there, right? Am I sure on the mintage estimate? No. Am I pretty sure that there's probably more of these, fewer of these out there than there are these? Yeah, I'm pretty sure. But the thing is this is a 25,000 mintage and this is a 100,000 mintage. And the thing is I've actually found 3 different variants of these 1 ounce Swiss of America 100K mintage rounds. Okay, it's not something that I realized immediately, but after seeing some other sellers kind of sell and taking a quick examination, not a quick, but a lengthy examination of what these rounds look like, these 100K vintage ones, I was able to come up with some conclusive variants actually. And so in my view, there's actually at least three different variants of this 100K vintage Swiss of America round. You got one on the right which is easily distinguishable, because if you just look at that Swiss of America text, it's completely different. It's much thinner. It almost looks like handwriting rather than something that's been stamped in. And so that right there, and this seems to be one that I don't see as frequently as the others, but I don't really know which is rarer of these types. All I know is that there are different types. So I'm just newly kind of finding out this information as I had a chance to kind of go through all my Rolos and really definitively make the case that, yep, there's three different variants here. So we got one with some clearly different looking text here. This is going to be one variant here. I'll call this the Type 3. We'll just, for the sake of keeping things simple, we'll call that the Type 3. Okay? Then you've got your Type 1 and your Type 2 here, and we'll just go ahead and call the one on the left the Type 1 just to keep things simple. Now, over here, you'll notice that, that text looks pretty similar. You got depending on how the light hits it, it's kind of like a dark, thick stamp on that text. And I think if you look at that text, there's not really any easy way to tell a difference between there. But if you actually start looking down at the details here, especially on the bottom, you'll find some very, very big differences. Up here, you'll notice, hey, on the mountains, you got a little bit of thicker ripples there in the mountains. But really, when you come down here and you start looking, especially at this house, on this house, you notice you got kind of like thin lines in between the windows or the separations of the house there. Whereas over here, it's almost like a thick indentation. It's not like a separated thin line. It's like a thick, dark line separating all of those crosshatches in the house. And over here too, you notice a little bit more thickness. So you see a little bit more space and breathing room in that left Type 1, whereas in this Type 2, you notice a little bit finer details there. Make sense? So here you've got your three different types, your Type 1 on the left, your Type 2 in the middle, and then your Type 3 on the right. And I think this is very interesting, especially if you're somebody who's new to collecting Swiss of America or even has been collecting it for a while. You might not have known this. And so now you're going to be tasked with trying to find, another two variants potentially if you've only got one of the three in your collection. So that's something very, very interesting I noted, and something I thought I needed to share with people, because I know there's a lot of people, such as the Kansas Kid, they're really into Draper Mint. And so it's very important that if you're really trying to be an obsessive collector, then really be obsessive about it. And so I hope this video was helpful for somebody or some group of people who are into collecting Draper Mint Rolos, because I know I sure am, and I was really, really happy to figure this bad boy out. Anyways, hope you have a great one, and thanks for stopping by. Cheers. Oh, and if you haven't had a chance to yet, be sure to check out our social media landing page at solo.to/silverbarstacker. There you can find our direct website link, which is silverbarstacker.com, as well as our links to our other social media channels, such as this very YouTube channel, our Facebook page, our Instagram page, our TikTok page, our Twitter page, and we also have the link to our Whatnot page, which is where we actually run our live auctions and actually also have all of these same SBS drops that we hold. We run those same drops on our Whatnot store, and we also have live auctions happening literally all the time. So the way that you can be notified about those auctions is to be following us there on whatnot.com/user/silverbarstacker. And we hope to see you there, folks. Thank you, and have a great day. Hey.